Right on. Welcome, guys. We are back after technical difficulties. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're here with the podcast 4 weeks in a row, kind of like New York and their murder spree. We have 1,500 miles to my left. The nicest guy in Battlefield, Mr. Lono. How's it going, buddy?
Hello, Chris. Hello, everybody.
And special guest this week, the man with millions of people, millions of eyeballs looking at him daily, Mr. JackFrags. How's it going, Jack?
I'm very good, thanks. Hello, everyone in the chat, and thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. So 1 million subscribers on YouTube. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a nice achievement. When I started out my YouTube channel with the launch of Battlefield 3, I never thought that I'd wake up one day and it'd be like, oh, 1 million subscribers. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make a big song and dance about it. It's definitely a cool achievement to say, yep, 1 million subscribers. But still the same, and it's not really going to change the type or the style of content that I make. So yeah, cool achievement, but whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that. No big song and dance like you said. It's actually kind of refreshing. A lot of people make a big deal of it and giveaways and everything else. So it's.
Will you put it on your resume though?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I mean, like you said, like some people do, like 1 million subscriber videos or special videos, whatever. But as much as I love making videos and creating content, I don't like attention. I know that sounds really stupid, but I just like making videos and that's it. Like, I don't want to be recognized or famous.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is with my YouTube channel. That's just the way I roll, I suppose.
I can see that. Anonymity is important in this day and age, so it's definitely something that not everyone is doing. A lot of people like to get their face out there, and that kind of hurts them in the long run. But
yeah, I mean, for me, the turning point came really when I was at a trade show in the UK. They have a show called the Gadget Show. It's like a big exhibition for gamers and technology, and there are a couple of other big, really big YouTubers there. There's a guy called KSI. He does like FIFA videos and vlogs and stuff in the UK, and he's got like millions of subscribers, millions of views. And he was at the show, and it's a public event, so anyone can turn up. And as he was walking from the entrance to the stage, he had to have security with him, and he had a mob of around 30 to 40 teenage boys just like screaming at him, with their mobile phones out, taking pictures, taking videos. And I just thought, I don't ever want that. Not that I would ever get that, but I try and avoid that as much as possible.
I can imagine. I remember at I think it was E3 one year. I seen what's his name now? Freddie Wong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are stopping him every 2 steps.
Yeah,
and you could tell he's just trying to enjoy it. Just trying to go through the motions and everything else. And I could see that getting a little annoying. But then I also seen some big COD YouTubers, and they were relishing in that. So
yeah, I mean, some people love it, and that's fine. That's their way of doing things. People like Syndicate, for example, or Ali A, they're 2 UK guys as well, or T Martin from the US, COD guy. Like, they're great, and they have fan meetups and all this sort of stuff, and they do a lot of photos and videos and vlogs. And that's their style. That's cool. But yeah, I'm not really into that.
Yeah, well, I could definitely see that. So does YouTube send you something for 1 million subs? I heard that rumor.
Yes, you get a gold play button. It's not actual gold, it's just like a big it's a big frame with glass, and then behind it is it's probably made of plastic, like a YouTube play button, and then it says congratulations on 1 million subscribers, then the name of your channel underneath. So they send you one of those. I think you get a $500 gift voucher as well. I remember for 100,000 subscribers, they send you a small silver play button. And a $500 gift voucher for B&H. I think it's an American photography website, but you can buy microphones there, video stuff, cameras, whatever. So that was
Cool.
quite useful.
That's pretty neat. It's nice for them to recognize that. I'm sure they make a little bit of ad revenue off you.
Yeah.
Well, it's 40%.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a lot of people.
It's more than I thought.
Wow,
That's a big cut.
that's good.
Yeah,
When they
it's
were talking about
40%, and then your network take a cut as well, whichever contract you're with, and then you take the rest.
right, and now they're talking about making changes to that. Correct? They're doing something where you can't have a sponsored video, or they're looking at sponsored videos. I'll just read it out.
I haven't actually heard anything about that, so you'd have to clue me in with that.
Yeah, something about they're looking at sponsored videos and they want to direct people to using their ad program instead of just having outside sponsors like Nike's sponsoring this video or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can see
Is
that.
that like a very recent thing?
Yeah, I think that was just today.
Yeah, I've seen something about that too. Almost like a YouTube sub button.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that as well. Yeah, sub buttons. So interesting. Whatever happened to YouTube Live? Is that still a thing? It's kind of disappeared.
The show or live streaming or
Yeah, live streaming.
well, you can still actually live stream on YouTube, but the problem with it is there's barely any chat moderation. Like Twitch has all these cool things like sub icons and moo bots, so you can you can assign admins. YouTube doesn't really have that.
Yeah, I remember it being quite a mess and everything just kind of drops to the end and gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, but one benefit to YouTube streaming is that it supports higher bit rates. So you can actually do up to 6,000 kbs 1080p streams on YouTube, and they look really nice. Like something I actually did for my I did like a Far Cry 4 live stream on YouTube. I just thought, well, I don't want to do like individual episodes. I just want to do a big block, just stream the whole game. So I did like 2 6-hour live streams on YouTube, and the quality was great. And then after I'd finished the stream, it processed the video, and then bam, the video's there on the channel.
Too easy.
Yeah, too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am kind of glad that they didn't buy Twitch. I think gamers need more options than the one conglomerate. So.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Hardline, what did you think of the beta, the most recent beta?
Just in general, or
Yeah, you think it was better than the one before?
well, I think it was definitely better than the one before, which I think that was June last year, wasn't it? They had that.
Was that long ago?
That long ago, yeah. It seems like ages ago.
Yeah.
But obviously a big improvement. The problem with that original beta, I think they kind of, although it was cool that you could, they just announced the game and then it was like, hey, you can play this if you want. It was still very early on in the development, and I think that's why a lot of people initially just went, oh, this is just a reskin.
Yeah.
And it didn't have its own identity back then. Like, yeah, it was cops and criminals, but it was like, well, it could be DLC. But now with the latest beta, obviously the game's coming out soon. They got all these game modes, all these different maps, and it certainly feels like the class balance especially feels quite different from BF4. Like I remember when the beta finished, going back to Battlefield 4 was quite weird. It was like, wow, that really does feel quite different, especially like the way the guns feel and the time to kill, and just going back to the class balance. Like I said, in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, I pretty much only ever play Assault and Engineer, whereas in Hardline, in the beta, I just found myself actually switching between all the classes and enjoying each class.
Okay.
And I like the way they've separated the weapons. I think that's cool. It's cool that you can't be an assault with a shotgun for like really extreme close range maps where you can heal yourself. You can be like one hit killing everyone.
Yeah.
I enjoy the class balance of Hardline. I think they've definitely done a good job of adding some variation to the classes and giving them lots of strengths rather than always playing assault or engineer.
Yeah. And that's something you guys helped out, you and Lono, with the Game Changers program, correct?
Yeah, best we could. Jack, did you see the infographic for kit class usage during the beta?
Is that the
The
image that they posted?
Yeah, the 55% toward operator.
Was it
Then
55%? Wow.
yeah, I believe, and then I think it was what 20 something for mechanic, and like enforcer had 6%.
Yeah, I
I
think a lot
used
of that
operator
though.
the least, honestly. Maybe because
Yeah,
there was so many others, but
I'm just looking at it now.
any particular favorite setups you had for the beta?
Um, as a mechanic, I love the K10 was great. That's the machine gun.
Yeah.
Um, when playing as the enforcer, obviously I think it was called the 870p Magnum, the shotgun. That was awesome.
Hmm.
Obviously as operator, the M16A3 and the M416 were just way too overpowered, like
Yeah, I'm
laser
glad. I'm
rifles.
glad they're fixing that.
I think you've got to take a grenade launcher as a mechanic, really, especially in
Yep.
hotline mode. Love the sabotage bombs too. Like most
Yeah, I
people
love
don't
those.
realize you can just put those on anything that you can interact with, which is it's quite cool.
Yeah, I got several kills with that, like in the heist, putting them on the doorways into the bank teller.
Hmm.
People just open the door and don't think about it. So yeah, that was useful. The spawn beacon for me was my biggest change that I enjoyed for the mechanic.
Yeah, you're not going to get a bunch of recons camping 400 meters away on a mountain anymore.
Yeah.
You can actually
It's
have like an aggressive spawn beacon that you can use as like an objective
Yeah,
rather than, just spawning on a hill somewhere.
hmm
yeah, makes much more sense.
Do you ever think we'll get to the point, and maybe this is a discussion for maybe like the future of the Battlefield series later on, but you ever think we'll get to the point where just everything's unlocked and you just pick a class and mix it, or is that getting into the whole things are going to be way too overpowered?
So you're saying like everything's unlocked from the beginning and you
Oh
can
no,
pick anything you want.
or even from like say you're an assault and you can pick RPG, sniper rifle, like just any weapon can be in any kit.
Oh, okay. So it would be more like you just have a soldier and you can set him up however you like, I
Yeah,
suppose.
say Arma.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, but the problem with that is eventually people would just figure out the absolute best stuff to have, and then everyone would just be using that.
Yeah,
Separating the classes with weapons and gadgets is great for game balance because the Battlefield guys call it rock paper scissors. It's like a marketing term, but it's a good way of describing it, I suppose. Like every class has a counter, every class has its advantages and disadvantages, and it keeps it interesting, I suppose, in a way.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zaculon is saying in the chat,
Sweet
shotguns,
Zach.
shotguns and breaching charges were the most overpowered thing, according to a lot of people. But so few people use that class, so that's interesting. I only got killed by the 870 once it kind of came out that it might be overpowered, and then as the days went on, it was all 870 all the time.
Yeah, it was medium range that it was too good. You could one bang someone at like medium range and especially on the bank map, like if you went with a shotgun there, you could just dominate people.
Hmm.
Um, as for the breaching charges, I think that complaint comes from hotwire mode. They're too hard to see on the road, and also the blast radius of them is far too big. You can
Yeah,
be quite far away from them, like in a car, for example. You're moving in a car and you think, "Oh, there's no way that's going to get me," but it does. You're just on the edge, and then bang, you're dead.
I don't know if it was because I didn't try hard enough, but it also seemed like I wasn't able to spot them. Like I'd see a enforcer throw him down, run away, and trying to spot for if I was a passenger, try to spot for the driver, and I never saw him pop up. I don't know if that was due to the speed in the car, I just didn't aim it good enough, or what. But were you able
Mhm.
to spot any breaching charges from an enemy?
It's not something that I really tried, to be honest, but like thinking back, you get the little icon, don't you, when you see like enemy explosives, like mines on the ground. I don't remember seeing that very often, so maybe there was like a bug with that or something.
Right on.
yeah. What was part of the Game Changers program for those of you guys who don't know? You guys got flown out to San Francisco, play the game early, give suggestions. And from what I understand, like they took tons of your suggestions, and the game is better for it. What was kind of the biggest change you've noticed from maybe the very first couple times you guys went out there to the beta that everybody just played?
What do you think, Lolly? You want to go first?
Go ahead. It's your spotlight. Fire away.
The biggest change. Well, like I said earlier, I think it's just one of the biggest things is the game having its own unique identity. Like the first time we went was in May, I think. So it was before the game was announced, and it really did feel like a reskin of BF4. Like a lot of it would look very similar. But playing the game now, it does have its own uniqueness to it. Apart from that, I would say there's so many little things that we suggested. And I'm not taking credit for it. I'm not saying that it was because we were there. Obviously the guys that are making the game, Visceral, they have these ideas as well. But just a load of little things in terms of game mechanics, like being able to spawn with RPGs. Like I remember one of the first times that we played Hotwire mode, it was just RPGs everywhere, and if you got in an objective vehicle, you could spawn in with an RPG. It was just explosions. You couldn't go more than like 50 meters in a car and you'd be dead. And also cars were like made of paper originally. Like you could take down a car
One magazine.
Less than a magazine with like an AKM, and it was like, okay, like we get the idea for the game, like bullets should be able to destroy cars, but maybe just increase the armor a little bit. But I think Heist as well. Heist actually changed quite a bit, and I don't know if that was based on our feedback, but it was you could have rounds that lasted like a minute in the original version of Heist. It was just like, oh, get the helicopter, get the 2 bags, you've won. And it was it was over. And that's changed now. The spawn locations are different for where you've got to capture the bag when you're a criminal.
More than 2 locations.
Yeah.
That helped. Sorry,
no,
to interrupt you.
It's okay. Like I said, it's just a lot of little things that we suggested that maybe have made the overall experience a bit better. But again, I don't take credit for it. Visceral are the guys that put like they were with us every time we played the game, every time we did a Q&A session. They were there, all the producers, all the developers. Like they're the ones that actually put the time and effort in and change stuff and fix the game, I suppose. So yeah, all credit goes to them.
Tons of notes.
Yeah.
They took tons of notes, good and bad.
On their phones, on notepads, they took pictures and videos, everything.
Yeah.
Good.
That was an experience for me. That was pretty cool.
What did you think, Lona? What was kind of the biggest change you saw, or maybe the biggest change that they originally wanted to make that you kind of tweaked, or you guys tweaked?
Biggest change, I guess it's something that I kind of like to worry about, I guess.
Welcome.
For me, it was knowing that there is added recoil.
For men
overall, I think there's a lot of dynamics to Battlefield, but that is like ultimately the core of, especially an infantry-focused Battlefield. There's so many gunfights and stuff. Guns don't need to be laser pointers, and there's still tweaking and changing things to that. But I was really happy to see that they were willing to go with added recoil, give more recoil. And I don't know if you guys use the battle rifles like the Scar H or whatever in the beta, but they kick like a mule.
Yeah.
But after I put like a vertical grip or stubby grip on it, it's love. But yeah, overall recoil, just knowing there's more recoil and the damage range. So you do kind of find a sweet spot with each class. SMGs can excel up close, ARs excel at medium to long, so on and so forth. For me, that was the biggest change.
Good. That's nice to see. I mean, a lot of games kind of launch with their own thoughts of what internally gunplay will feel like, and then feedback from the community is almost immediate now with what needs to be tweaked. So it's nice to see that you guys can go in and say like, hey, this shit's broken.
Yeah.
fix it.
I've thought of a couple of things as well whilst Lonnie was speaking there. A couple of things that I'd like to think we impacted on with the game. Just remember, like Lono, I know you went to all the events as well, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Fortunately, Lano's grateful.
Some of the points that we brought up, I think we really hammered to the devs. Just thinking of some, like number one is like making sure that the game is stable at launch. Like
Yeah.
the first time we went
Yeah.
there, after BF4, we were
Will
just
it
like,
play?
you've got a massive uphill battle here. You've got to make sure that this game is stable on launch.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the main things we hammered. Also, like customization and weapon skins. Just seeing the popularity of CS:GO, for example, the amount of skins and customization they have in that game, and the way that that's taken off and had such a massive impact on the community. I remember we said to the devs, have stuff like pink zebra camo, gold desert eagles, all that sort of stuff, and that stuff wasn't there, when we played the game originally, and they've added all that crazy stuff now. And we also said, those crazy unique weapon skins, make sure that they're really hard to unlock. So when you see one, you're like, oh damn, like that guy's worked hard for that gold weapon skin. No, I'm gonna have to get 10,000 kills to get that. that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, there are some things. There's certainly some things that we brought up that we didn't want in the game, or we did want in the game but didn't make it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like hacker mode, for example, commander mode. Hacker mode is the hardline version of commander mode. I think I can talk about this. I remember, like, at the very first time we went there, after the first gameplay session, I said, how many people in the room would care if commander mode wasn't in hardline? And one person put their hand up. In the whole room, there's about 32 people in there. And I think stuff like UAV, cruise missiles. Obviously, cruise missiles aren't in the game. Neither is like an AC-130, which is great. But
Yes.
UAV and infantry scans, I think. When some guy is just sat on his tablet in a coffee shop or on the toilet or wherever he is, he can just go, bam, infantry scan. You're a high-value target. You're on the mini-map. And the players don't know about it either. Like, that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But that made it into the game.
I heard that, a big complaint that I totally agree with for commander mode in BF4 is, you shouldn't punish players for doing well without them knowing. Like, there's no way to counteract being marked as a high value target and just being on the map for everybody to see. So,
Yeah.
It really adds nothing to the gameplay positively, and it just detracts from, someone who's actually playing well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Speaking about like those events, though, that was something that they said, well, hacker mode's going to be in it. It's going to be there. We just want to make it fun and people like it. What do you guys really think will make that a point? And a lot of us were stressing on how uneven a game can get whenever one hacker joins and there's no one else on the other team as a hacker. You're getting spotted, you're getting resources dropped to them, and so on and so forth, and nothing happens for the other team. So from part of that, the whole events, game changers, whatever, being able to go into hacker mode and drop out of it and go back into infantry while staying in the game and keeping your points, that was something that was really stressed, and I'm really glad to see that they were able to pull that off. So if you do feel like you're just getting beat up because the other team has a hacker, you can click hacker, go to it, and help your team that way. So I'm really glad that was changed. If hacker's going to be in there, I'm glad that you're able to go in and out of it. But anyway, yeah, that was a big change too, at least with that mode.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. But
Yeah.
that's
Like, commander, you have to leave the server, rejoin as a commander, play commander, then you have to leave that, come back as infantry. In like the beta, it was there. You could do it there. You just enter as hacker, leave, go back to infantry, and you keep your points and so on and so forth. So that was a big difference.
neat. That's little things like that, and it'll be great when the game comes out. We can kind of delve deeper into what they're trying to accomplish, because you get a sense. We talked to 3 guys from Visceral and EA. and they want to say so much more, and they're super proud of the game, but you still gotta keep tight-lipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've certainly been very open and transparent about the development of the game,
Yeah.
which is cool. I can't think of many AAA titles that would be this transparent with the community. I mean, if you look at what BF4 did today with the whole, create your own map thing, and it's like everything that we put out this year, any type of new content for Battlefield 4 is going to go through the CTE first. So, if you've got premium, you can access it, you can play it, you can give your feedback, that's pretty neat. It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to say that they have for the game.
Absolutely. It's something I've wanted in the game, for a very, very long time. Like even talking to Dice way back in the BC2 days when BF3 was the next big thing, we thought, like if we can just get a group of guys that love Battlefield to play it early, we can save you guys months of development time.
Right.
And it's seriously like how if they wouldn't have flew you guys out, they would have done all this stuff, and sure, some of it might be absolutely great ideas, but the community's going to get a hold of it, and they're going to be like, okay, well, that's shit, and this needs to be changed, and it's pretty common sense stuff. But when you're looking too closely at something, sometimes you can't see everything. So I'm super happy that worked out, and that they continue it, and now we've got CTE, for Hardline, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's neat. It's neat. Like you said, it just having an outsider perspective sometime to look at things and go, that's kind of dumb, or why don't you try this instead? And it works out a lot better that way. That can be that. I think that's nice to have. I mean, I'm not a game developer or a game designer, but it's certainly something that I would want if I was working on a big game. Because you're surrounded by the same people every single day. You just do the same play tests with the same people, and if it's all like closed off into one group of people who have a specific gameplay style or specific teamwork, there will be a lot of things that you'll miss. But
Yeah.
Bringing us in, all different types of Battlefield players, competitive, people who just mess around, people who like playing the objective, people who just want to go for kills. Just having that big group there, I think it really helped to expose all of the potential shortcomings with the game, and definitely just inject some ideas into the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And kind of approach the game from an outsider where, maybe this isn't your living and you play the game to be, to have fun, which most of us do. It doesn't need to be 100% perfect. It doesn't have to be 100% exact, but it has to be fun, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what games are. So
yeah, it's just entertainment, and you don't want to get frustrated with a game. Obviously, the Battlefield series, especially Battlefield 4, has a couple of really frustrating things in it. Ways you can die, cruise missiles, UCAVs, mortars, all that bullshit. But none of that's actually in Hardline, which is quite refreshing. It's you can have fun your own way.
I'm really happy UCAVs aren't there, or really anything you can use from your deployment except for your gun. But I digress.
Yeah. Was there one thing that you guys saw that they completely removed? I don't know if you can even answer that, but
that they removed.
I can't think of removing, but I know like the songs to the radio was added, handbrake to the cars was added.
Songs are so good.
I gave Zach a lot of shit about making the zipline zippier.
Needs to be zippier, Zach. Come on, man.
Yeah. Grapple hook, it needed some work. It's a lot better than it was.
Maybe 10% zippier.
Well, initially it was, you would move, at least in what it felt like, just barely faster than sprinting. So it wasn't doing anything but putting you out in the open with no cover and nowhere to go except for getting shot. So yeah, up to zippiness.
I seem to recall that the alligators on the
yeah, they keep changing.
Yeah, you could kill them and they could like damage you originally. I seem to recall on the swamp map. You guys haven't played it because it wasn't in the beta, but you've probably seen footage of it because I think we were allowed to release some footage of it in the past. But I don't know whether they backed out of that because of Peter or whatever. But you can't do that anymore. They just run away from you. You can't damage them. They can't hurt you. There's got to be some stuff.
That's
I'm trying to
funny.
think.
I thought they
I
were
mean,
pretty cool that
LMGs.
would catch you off guard.
LMGs were in the game, so you could spawn with an LMG, from what I remember. And obviously you can't get those now apart from in the back of trunks and battle pickups.
Oh, and I heard like RPGs, like you guys are pretty integral in making those battle pickups instead of
Yeah.
from spawn.
Well, at the event before the last one, I can't remember when it was. Was it in? We went at the end of October, and then I think we went in between E3 and October. I think it might have been like September that we went, maybe at the start. But like, they had the RPGs in the trunks back then at that event, and we actually said at the time, we felt it was a bit weird because in hotwire mode, you would just spawn in, get out your car, get the RPG out the boot, and then the second that you come into contact with someone, you kill them. And it was like at the start of the round, everyone had RPGs, and I seem to recall from that particular session, most of us were actually in agreement that RPGs shouldn't be in boots of cars. Rather, there should be more of them scattered around the map as battle pickups. So you'd have to make the conscious choice at the start of the round, instead of getting out your car and just going to the back and getting an RPG, you'd have to make the conscious choice to go and find one of these battle pickups and fight over it, like a little mini objective, so you can have control of that power weapon and you can do some damage with it. But obviously they kept RPGs in boots, and I still feel like, especially in hotwire mode, there's a bit too much explosive spam. And I'm sure they've listened to that feedback, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I appreciate that the vehicles have to be light enough that you actually have to damage them. There's no point in just having one that goes around forever. But they're a little thin, I think. One grenade takes them out, maybe.
Yeah, I think you can get an armor upgrade for them, from what I remember, but I didn't actually unlock it in the beta. So you can make them a bit more durable, but I agree with you. I think as their default state, they should be able to take a little bit more firepower.
Yeah.
Jack, somebody from chat wants to know, where'd he go? I missed the name. I'll find it here in a second, but wants to know what was your favorite map and mode from the beta?
From the beta, I would say
from Ben Morrow. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I really like hotwire mode because it's not very tactical, but you just get these crazy Michael Bay moments that just happen.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. It's unscripted, and it just naturally occurs. Like, you'll be in an objective car, all of a sudden, there's a police car behind you with 4 guys hanging out the window shooting at you. You're shooting back. Eventually, boom, you get them. Suddenly, in front of you, a fuel tanker or something just comes cruising towards you. Helicopter swoops in, blows the fuel tanker up. Just cars flipping everywhere. Molotov comes out of nowhere. It's, that sort of thing just seems to naturally happen when you're playing that game mode, and it's just fun. Like, even when you get killed in hotwire mode, you're like, well, that was pretty cool. Like, that was like a 40-second car chase. I got 5 kills. It ended up with a massive explosion. There's a ragdolls flying everywhere. That's what I like about hotwire mode. So, my favorite map of the beta was probably downtown on hotwire mode.
Yeah.
The radio really helps with that mode too. Like everyone jumps in, whoop whoop. That's the sound of police. It just makes you want to like hang out the window and go. I love that the radio made it.
I remember you might have seen in some of the footage we released a couple of days ago with the with rescue mode and heist on the new maps, with the dinosaur masks and whatever. there's the big armored SUV with the gun on top.
Yeah.
We went upstairs and we played like a little play session, like 10 of us, and I just remember that like Pony Lion being in the SUV, and he just had this like R&B tune on, just cruising around. And obviously you can hear the radio when you're not in the car. It just sounds a bit different, and that was just such a cool moment.
Yeah, those are good.
I really like that. And one thing I noticed in the hotwire mode is it almost makes people actually pay attention to the objectives.
Yeah.
I was driving with people, and they would drive to the other ones, and a bunch of people would get out because they want to drive the cars. And it just so happens that the fun cars to drive are the objectives. So that was kind of an interesting, side that.
We had Zach on here last week telling us, the different changes, which I think you heard it too, on the different iterations they try to introduce with Hotwire, and I didn't like the sound of any of those, so I'm glad it ended up where it ended, because it's actually really fun the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's in a pretty good place now. It's a nice balance of fun and tactics and objective play. The only thing I would change is the fuel tanker. Obviously they have that as an objective point, and it's just such a massive target. And as soon as you're in it, within like 20 seconds, you're probably guaranteed to be dead. But I guess a counter to that is that there's only one of those on the map that is an objective point, right? So like, are you going to be that guy that steps up to the plate and actually drives it, takes one for the team? There's a great idea. Someone I think it's someone commented on one of my videos. The fuel tanker, you should be able to like drop fuel out of the back as you're driving around and leave like a like a line of fuel and then ignite it.
Yeah.
Or maybe even dump the tanker. So if you've got like a load of cars chasing you, you could dump the fuel tanker and then get your passenger to like shoot a rocket at it and just make a fucking huge explosion.
Yeah. I think Chris had said that last week. He'd like to be able to drop the trailer. That would be really cool if you could do that. Or drop it and then just drive away. That way you're not driving a huge bomb.
Yeah. Or maybe you could get more points while you're driving it, like you accrue points quicker or you bleed tickets faster.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, making it a little bit more of a benefit than grabbing the cars. So I always thought it'd be really cool. And I don't know if the maps are maybe a little too small for this, but having the tanker and creating like roadblocks and a bunch of stuff like that, like making it a really, almost racing, like more racing simulator than actual gameplay. So you're cruising around a corner and a couple objectives, and all of a sudden there's a giant tanker roadblock in the way, and hopefully we'll get there. It'll be nice to see how that game mode evolves as the game releases.
I definitely use the tanker as a roadblock. I did that a few times. Just underneath, block off that road, and all of them come sliding around. Easy kill.
Yeah, stick like a breaching charge onto it or something, and then just wait in the shadows. I think something we suggested as well was having on a couple of the maps, maybe have like a transport helicopter as a hotwire point, or like a couple of the speedboats, for example. So you could have like boat chases, or if one of the capture points could be like a transport helicopter, that would be quite interesting. But that would be quite hard to balance, because that helicopter could just, fly to the top of the skybox or something, and then it'd be almost impossible to take out. But that could be. I mean, there were no bikes either, but I guess a bike would just die so quickly. Maybe it wouldn't be worth it.
Somebody wanted to know from chat what you thought about the gas grenades and Molotov. I know I love the Molotovs and gas. What did you think about them?
I mean, I think the balance of the grenades in general in Hardline is very good.
Yeah.
Like obviously in BF4, when the game launched, the grenade spam was just unreal. And then after like 6 months of complaining, eventually they released a patch where you could only have one less grenades. RGOs were nerfed. Mini grenades were nerfed heavily right at the beginning. So there was so much grenade spam. And again, that, like Lana, that's something that we brought up in the game changer. We were like, the first time we were there, just keep grenade spam to the minimum. Like
that was said repeatedly.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
make this a gun game where you actually have to shoot people rather than throwing a grenade and not having to worry about it. Like you guaranteed a kill. But in Hardline, I love it. I love what they've done with the grenades. I think the flashbangs are really effective as they should be. Molotovs, massive sort of like AoE effects. They do
Love
a lot of
those.
damage. They
They
look
actually hold
awesome.
people back instead of just like run through and sacrifice some health. You have to stay back or they're gonna die. I think I
Yes,
threw 3 grenades. After that was all Molotovs and gas. I'd use
yeah.
gas until the other team put on gas masks, then I switched to Molotovs and just burned the shit out of them. Love the Molotovs and gas.
Yeah, it's actually you can actually use it as like an effective aerial denier effect.
Yeah.
Or like the gas as well. Like not many people actually take gas masks because on the surface you're like, well, I could have a grenade launcher. But
Yeah.
if you
You
if
don't
you
need it
actually,
all until you catch yourself in that gas cloud and you're like, fuck.
yeah, but what I found myself doing was on the bank map, taking the gas mask, taking a shotgun or something, or an SMG, and the vault room, for example, where people camp when the police are in there, just camping the
Yeah.
money bag. You just toss like 2 or 3 gas grenades in there, just bust in there with your shotgun. They're all suppressed, they can't see shit, and you're just blowing them all away because you're wearing a gas mask.
Love that. Yeah. I told
That's
Chris
great.
we
It's
were
great.
playing. I was like, Chris, put on your gas mask. He's like, I don't have one. I said, get one. Why? Because we're gonna need it. He puts one on, tells him to equip a gas. So we go and did the exact same thing. And you just see all these guys trying to run around, scattered, trying to find some fresh air or whatever. And you just mopping them up. I love the gas and Molotovs. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually effective balanced gadgets that are useful. Whereas in BF4, I mean, RGOs have been nerfed so bad now that they're never used. Mini grenades, no one ever uses them. The only grenade to take really is the
Frag.
M67.
As it should be. That should be the only actual explosive grenade.
Yeah, and that's the way it is in Hardline as well, right?
Yeah.
And they've nailed that. So yeah, good job with the grenades.
Good. They're learning. They're evolving.
There's no flares. No useless flare.
Yeah, what's the point of the flare?
I don't know. I think
I
it
thought
was
I
just
could
to make it. I don't know.
I thought I could throw it on that goat on Rogue Transmission and summon a T-Rex or something. I thought that would be the only use for it, but
Yeah.
doesn't have a use.
There was only thing I've seen anyone do with the flares were like throw them in a dark corner and then go on the opposite side just to blind people so they couldn't see them hiding in that corner. That was the only thing that I ever seen that actually used for.
Mm-hmm.
But
They look pretty, I suppose. Good for
Yeah.
screenshots.
Yeah, exactly. They look pretty. Night maps. We'll think of night maps.
So, any kind of, if you were to guess or hope for some kind of, I know the game's not launched yet, but just in general future thinking, what would you hope to see for like a DLC for Hardline? Any idea? Have you thought about it? I'm sure you have.
DLC. Well, like I definitely want to see more destruction in the game. Because they've pretty much said now that they can't really do anything about that with the current maps, for performance reasons, whatever. And I know, sometimes a wall isn't destructible because of like game design or balance or like a line of sight or something, which is fair enough. But I really feel like in a lot of the Battlefield Hardline maps, although they have a lot of micro destruction, some of the bigger stuff like walls and sides of buildings, which as a Battlefield player, you're expecting to be able to blow them up. Like there's a guy, you have a firefight with someone, a guy ducks behind a small concrete wall or like a wooden shack, and you're like, well, no problem, get my grenade launcher out or throw a grenade. I know that I'm going to kill that guy. But you do it and then nothing happens, and it's like, well, it's kind of weird as a Battlefield player. But so if they do make DLC for this game, because I don't think they've actually announced any yet.
No, they're really focused on the launch.
Yeah, I would love to see more destruction, especially if you look
particular
at
theme. Sorry, go ahead, go for it.
So I was just going to say, especially if you look at what DICE LA did with like Dragon's Teeth with a map like Propaganda.
Yeah.
If you think about like there's so many buildings in that you can destroy if there's people camping in them, and it really adds to the map. But in terms of a theme for DLC, I would love to see like a proper I know this is sort of like cliche and it's a sign of the times, but I would like to see a nighttime map, sort of in the style of the Raid, where like the criminals are at the top of like a big skyscraper with like multiple levels, and the SWAT team or the police are at the bottom. You know, they can cut the power, they can go in, maybe use night vision goggles and actually work their way up to the top of this building, like, I don't know, like a rush map or something, or like there's a conquest points at the top of the map, something cool like that, so you can just play out some of those SWAT team fantasies, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, like more a little bit payday action.
Mhm.
Yeah, and giving it a little bit more of a heist feel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely has that on some of the maps.
Well, the other day, a conversation got started, like Zoop's talking about in the chat. We got on a big thread about like 70s, 80s themed DLC. The big stashes. Different. Like A Team and God, Airwolf and just all these different themes from the 80s. You whatever. I think that would be really cool, and a lot of us keep talking about it. So maybe yeah, start like Starsky and Hutch, like Pun says, and the old 70s, 80s muscle cars. I think that'd be
Yeah.
pretty legit. But I definitely want the big mustache, like Zoop says. I definitely want that.
See, that's something that I would pre-order for. Well, pre-order exclusive? No, it's not even.
No pre-order exclusives.
Yeah,
What do you guys? I guess think of the
Sorry, go
whole
on.
situation, the pre-order
Bullshit.
Well, I think if it is true, and if those pre-order weapons are exclusive to the digital deluxe edition and you can't get them unless you pre-order the game, that's bullshit, and it is an insult to the community, because it's going to bring up questions of like, well, are they overpowered? They're in the game already. I've already paid full price for it. Why can't I have them? They're in the game. So it would be pretty bad for EA and Visceral if those guns turn out to be pre-order exclusives only. But I think based on based on the outcry from the community so far, and that's just based off one tweet from the official Battlefield account, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a U-turn on that, because they've been so good with the community and transparent with building the game, and it would be like getting shot in the balls if they just went, "Oh, sorry guys, here's 3 exclusive pre-order guns."
Well, and there's only 2 ways it can go. Either the pre-order guns are overpowered and they're better guns, which immediately pisses everybody else off except for the people who pre-ordered, or the guns are the same to keep the balance normal, and then there's no point in pre-ordering. It's really lose-lose for them, and I don't know why. I mean, obviously I know why they put things like this in, because any way to get your money early, they're going to jump on. And when I say they, I mean literally any game developer ever, not just Visceral or EA. It's really too bad that we can't just go to a system where, maybe you get $5 off premium or something. Like, can we not do discounts instead of adding things to the game that will fracture the community?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I think that as pre-order incentives for games nowadays, especially a game like Hardline, should really focus on cosmetics. So I'm going to go back to CSGO again. If you look at CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends, Team Fortress 2, like the amount of money that the publishers make off skins and custom weapon skins and everything like that is insane. Like, it's crazy. Having like a stat track gun in CSGO, for example. Really, they should focus on cosmetics instead, because people can't complain about game balance if it's just a skin. If it's not affecting the stats of the weapon, then why? People don't have any grounds to complain. So if they made some really cool pre-order cosmetic, like, I don't know, like a helmet or like a weapon skin, for example, stuff like that, or like someone posted in the chat, like a car skin, for example, Ollie Dirty 54. just come up with some imaginative, inventive pre-order bonuses like that instead. Everyone's happy. If you want to spend the extra $10, you can. If you don't, then you're not going to get the skin. Who cares? It's not going to put you at a disadvantage.
Exactly. And, like you say, the CSGO things, it's such an easy way to add benefit for them and not, I don't know. I'm trying to not be super outraged about this because, like you said, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of this, and I'm sure they're looking at the community closely, but lots of other options than adding things that will fracture your game.
Yeah. And this is I'm sure Lano can attest to this as well. This is something that we brought up in the Q&A sessions as well. If do stuff like custom weapon skins, do stuff like stat track, and like I said earlier, gold desert eagles. People love that shit, and it's cosmetic, doesn't affect the game. You guys can make some money out of it. People have it if they want.
Yep, exactly. And hey, maybe they could do a thing where you could submit community content. I mean, that'd be full on ripping off CSGO, but that's fine.
Yeah, it'd work. I mean, nothing is original anymore, especially in game design. Like every game has something borrowed from every other game. It's not like there's a committee that says, "Oh, Battlefield Hardline can't have CS weapon skins because CS:GO does."
Yeah.
They could do it and it would be perfectly fine. So yeah, I think it would be a good move.
Yeah. Ah, man, I really like the car skins. Oh, how sweet would that be?
Yeah, like you could put your own pictures on you
in
play
all
Forza.
honesty, though, Forza's great. But if they did skins, they could sell a shit ton out of that, and that doesn't hurt anybody in game. If you want to spend your extra money, whatever, to buy something that just gives you some skin that no one else has, by all means, go for it. I use all mine on default black anyway, or whatever they are, so I don't care. But if you
Hey,
want
who are
to
you
have,
talking?
if you want to have pink camos, which I have no idea why you'd want a pink zebra skin, whatever, teach their own. But
They look fabulous.
in my opinion, I mean, doing anything, especially which I'm glad guns are more focused on smaller amount. There's not like 15 guns that no one's ever going to use because they're crap, and they're going to be able to balance what's there a lot easier. There shouldn't be any that's exclusive to just pre-ordering. I think they've built up a lot of trust with their transparency and openness about this whole development. After Battlefield 4, that's exactly what Battlefield needed. And then right at the finish line, right when you're about to launch it, it's like, let's just give
Control
it a
Z,
split.
undo.
Like, why? You were doing so good. And for me, I know that those decisions are decided in most cases by higher up marketing, executive suit and tie guys that don't really know gamers and what we want. They just see it as a dollar value. So I don't, as much as a lot of people want to hate Visceral for it, I really don't think it had anything to do with them. They've been really open and transparent when it comes to all this, and when you ask them that question, it's like you don't get shit in reply. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to avoid it. I just feel like they're mad about it just as much as we are. So,
Yeah.
in my mind, I see it being okay exclusive for, let's say, the first month, and then it's like, okay, those pre-exclusive guns not so exclusive anymore. You can all earn them in game, whatever.
Then what's the point of even being exclusive?
Yeah, they've already pissed everyone off if they do that.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Lano. I don't think this is something that Visceral would have set out to do. I mean, like having spoke to people like Thad Sasser and Zach and Ian Millam, I just can't envision it in my mind where they go, right, something we need for this game, exclusive pre-order guns, let's go. Like I just can't see them saying that. So I do agree with you. I think something like this is coming from the higher ups, the men in the suits. But yeah, we'll see what happens with it.
And the Scanner's talking about in the chat about the DLCs and ideas and things of that nature. That was something else on those trips out there that, like, I know Jack and me and almost everyone there were like, don't do anything to split up the community. If it's DLC, like we really pushed and Jack really pushed for that initially, was to make, in some way or another for them to find a different pay model for them to make maps free for everybody, and then charge for cosmetics and what have, which we don't know any actual DLC plans. That was all just suggestive and
Yeah, it
hopes.
was.
But yeah, we definitely did want that. I mean, it's something obvious to all gamers. Like every DLC now, if you try to go on Battlefield 4, one of those DLCs, you're not really going to find by playing it because not everybody has them. So everyone just ends up back in vanilla. So I hope they find a new way to remedy that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think what something that we suggested was, and I don't know if it would work because I don't know if anyone's actually done it before, but having DLC maps are free for everyone to play. So new DLC comes out, Battlefield Dinosaur mode, whatever the fuck you want for Battlefield Hardline. Everyone can play it, right? But if you don't have premium and you play on that map, you don't get XP or you don't get the weapon unlocks. So that way you can still play with your friends, but if you want to start getting the achievements and unlocking the weapons and making XP whilst you're playing on these DLC maps, you need to buy premium so you can have all that. That was quite an interesting idea, and I don't know how well that would work in practice, but like you said, it would stop splitting up the community.
Yeah.
And if you look at BF3 and BF4 as great examples, people just always gravitate back to the vanilla game, especially after like the 6-month mark. It's really hard to find DLC servers, even though some of the DLC maps are actually better than the vanilla maps. Like in BF3, for example, I personally really loved the Aftermath expansion. And it was really popular for like 2 or 3 weeks after it launched. But then, everyone's just playing Carg Island and Operation Metro, towards the end. And with BF4, don't really care about Second Assault or China Rising. I think they're pretty bad. But, the Final Stand is still a little bit popular, as is China Rising. But I still see so many more servers that are just running the vanilla game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, old Dirty 54 in the chat just brought up a good point. He said one thing that really hurt DLC maps on BF4 was lack of mixed map servers. And I know when we rented a server,
that hurt us too.
Yeah, you can't put DLC maps in it, or it won't fill up.
Because it gets seated unless you're JackFrags and make a tweet.
Yeah, because if you don't have premium or that DLC. Yeah. Even if it's on a vanilla map, you can't join the server. It just goes, "No, sorry, you can't join this server." It's kind of dumb, isn't it?
Yeah, a map might come that you can't play. You should be able to join, and then if that map comes, you can just spectate. You just watch.
Yeah.
You just turn into a ghost.
You can't even join at the moment if it's got DLC in the rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's something else that gets fixed. Yeah. What do you think about the night maps and whatnot coming to Battlefield 4? Have you played those? Interested? Care? Not really.
Yeah, I mean, I've played. I think there's been 3 different iterations of the night map now on CTE. I've played them all. The first version of it wasn't dark enough, and there were lots of bugs with it. Obviously, it's work in progress. The second version, they added rain and fog, but it didn't really add anything to the gameplay. But then the latest version, they've actually changed it quite a lot. It's a lot darker now. It's dark enough that you can't actually see people if they're in a certain spot and not moving. It's very hard to see them, which is cool. And obviously they've got classic mode on as well, so 3D spotting isn't as much of a big deal. But the best thing about it is you can't get up to the top of the skyscraper anymore on Siege of Shanghai. The C flag is now underneath in the middle of the skyscraper on the ground floor, and if you capture that point, a tank spawns, and they've removed the tanks from deployment zones. So now that central flag is quite an important point to control, because if you have it, you have the tank. It's the only tank on the level.
Yeah. That could be a good change.
And instead of just like turning the sun off and just going, right, there you go, there's your night map, guys.
turn the sun off.
US
frag rounds.
Yeah, that's what you need. It's it actually plays quite differently now, which is nice. It feels like a different map in a way, even though it's similar, it's same layout more or less. It plays quite differently.
Hmm.
It's cool. I like it.
Right on.
I like that they're trying new things. Like games don't have to have a set track where this is the DLC and this is what's going to come out on this day. And hey,
Imagine how cool that would have been if like they could have actually started working on that 2 months after launch, because the game played and didn't crash. And yeah, I just think the Battlefield 4 launch was just too much of a mess to fix.
I do think a lot of this stuff as well with CTE and with Hardline and getting everyone involved.
It's really helped. Well,
yeah, it has really helped BF4 and Hardline, but I think it's also like paving the way for Battlefront and Battlefield 5 especially.
future times.
So if they do game changers programs for Battlefront or Battlefield 5, that'd be awesome. Get the community involved, be really transparent with the development, and it's
Don't
it's
lie,
all
you
good
just want to play
practice.
Battlefront like I do. Don't lie. I know. I want to play it too.
We all want to play Battlefront, don't we? I mean, I just want to see it. I just want to see what it looks like.
I can't believe how tight-lipped they're being about it.
So stoked.
They're letting nothing through.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be on next gen and PC only, because if you think about the shortcomings of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, really a lot of it comes down to the fact that it's on 10-year-old hardware as well, and they've got to accommodate to the lowest, hardware spec. And just imagining what a Frostbite 3 game could look and play like on next gen only, it could be incredible. I mean, get on the hype train, get on the hype X-wing.
There's plenty of room at the back. Yeah,
I'm stoking the coal now.
So what could they possibly do to Battlefield 5 at this point? Like, now that COD is rumored to go back to World at War, do you think we're going to start going full circle again, or we're still going to see future?
I don't know. Like, it must be quite hard actually being a game developer. Like one of these like high up executive producers or game designers at DICE, and you've made Battlefield 4. Obviously, it's like a modern military multiplayer first-person shooter. You've got a load of tanks, load of vehicles, levolution, destruction, everything that people want. Yeah, there were some problems with it, but as a base game, you can do a lot of shit in Battlefield 4. Like there's a lot of variety, and there's nothing else quite like it. If you think about like what's comparable to Battlefield 4 in terms of like scale and features and stuff like that, there isn't much more like it. So you're sat there, you're like an exec producer or a designer, and you're like, how can we improve on this? It's like, what do you come up with? Do you change the theme, like you say? Do you go back to World War II? Do you go near future, like Advanced Warfare? Do you just put more players in, more tanks, more vehicles? Like, is that going to even be better? Like it, I really don't know what they're going to do with BF5.
Yeah, it's
remove the bloat.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Evolution 2.0. Yeah,
I don't know if going back to World War II would be a good idea, actually.
Oh my god, I'd love to see a Frostbite Battlefield again.
See, I feel like everybody says that. I feel like, World War II, but it's a little bit of rose-colored glasses. We got a lot of World War II games to play, and they're still coming out. We got to be... I don't know. We got to be careful of saying, oh, yeah, well, let's just remake this because, hey, I love Bad Company 2, but please don't remake Bad Company 2 if you're not going to do it correctly.
I don't want to remake it, but it'd be nice to actually see a World War II Frostbite engine game. But I'm really looking forward to Hardline. We're close to that. I'm looking forward to Battlefront, and God only knows, I think Battlefield 5 is too far ahead to even worry about at this point.
Yeah, never mind. Hardfront's not until December. So.
Hardfront. Now you're mixing.
Hardfront, yeah.
That's the new game.
That's the secret one.
Yeah, I think that's DLC for Battlefield 5, actually.
Yeah,
just broke your NDA.
Yeah. Fired.
No, but I mean, there was a leak or rumors last week about Battlefront having like land to space combat. So you could be on a planet, have a battle there, get in an X-wing on the planet, fly into space, have a battle in space, and then go and take down a star destroyer or something like Titan mode without any loading times. So maybe that's where the game's going next, like more players and bigger levels that accommodate lots of different styles of gameplay, maybe. Because I mean, if you think about BF4, the only game modes where things are sort of like mashed together, I suppose, would be Carrier Assault, which is sort of like a mix between Conquest and Rush, I suppose, because once you're in the carrier, you got the MCOMs. So maybe that's the direction they'll take it, because that was the last DLC DICE worked on as well. So maybe that was like paving the way for like Battlefront, Battlefield 5, maybe mixing up all these different types of objective-based gameplay. I don't know. Maybe that could be where they're going.
That's an interesting idea. Like a No Man's Sky situation where you fly into the planet and fight on the ground type thing.
I think that would be sweet, because you could see lots of different types of vehicles in the same match and lots of different types of combat and objective play. It would just be there would just be so much variation there. I think that could be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah. So many possibilities. We just need Game Changers program with DICE. Keep this going for Hardline. We need you guys out there weekly. We need you guys on salary, own offices.
Shit.
Let's make this happen.
Yeah. Good luck. Shit, if they'd offered, I'd snatch at it. I'm not kidding. Jack, we've taken up over an hour of your time. I don't know how much time you got if you want to hang out.
I can stay, man. Whatever you got, you can keep me however long you want.
Sure. Well, let's answer a couple more questions from the chat if you guys have questions on Battlefield speculation, Hardline, anything for Jack besides what he looks like and where he lives.
Yeah, some people have claimed that logo is your actual face now because there's no pictures of you.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's actually how I look.
And I have met Jack, and you'd be surprised. That's exactly how he looks. Like the JF, I knew it was him. That's exactly how he looks. Yeah, and Doom, he actually looks like his avatar. I know he doesn't want anybody to see his face, but he looks just like his avatar.
Yeah. He's the heavy from Team
the heavy from TF2. Yeah, that is actually Doom. I saw him. I was like, "There's Doom."
And Chawboy, you know exactly what Chawboy looks like just from his voice.
Well, he takes more selfies than any woman I know.
Chawboy is hilarious.
They are hilarious, so and what's really cool about is just how down to earth they are. Because I was thinking that this is gonna be complete opposite. Super down to earth, but he's always like, "Let me take a selfie. Let me take a selfie." That dude takes more pictures of himself, but it's hilarious. It's not out of arrogance. It's just him living in the moment. So he's taking recorded evidence of everything he's doing, which is awesome. But the dude's like, "Where'd Chaw go?" And he's back here taking a photo. It's like, damn it. Anyway,
someone asked about what happened to the Battlefield Classic Map DLC for BF4. Well, I think a lot of people were a bit confused today when they did the whole announcement for the community map. But Tigger, David Serland, who's the producer at DICE LA, actually, someone asked him, "Does this mean that the Classic DLC map pack isn't coming out now?" And he said, "No, it's a separate project. It's just that they didn't want to announce everything today. So as far as I know, that's still coming."
That would be nice. Yeah, because there's... Man, I hope I'm not mistaken about this, but there's another DLC coming that they haven't announced yet, correct? Or is that still just speculation?
Well, I think the only thing they've announced is that there is another DLC, and they did that vote, if you remember that poll, like if you could have any Battlefield maps remade, what would they be? And they haven't actually released the results of that. And as far as I know, I don't think they've come out and said anything about it. So I don't know, but I mean, they're definitely working on more content for Battlefield. Like they've got to be. If you think about the size of that team at DICE LA, like they have like 60 people working there, and that's that's more people than would just work on CTE, for example, or just the DLC. So I think they've got more stuff.
That's good. You know, I'm glad we've got the 3 teams now, Dice LA, and Visceral. A little bit of a COD situation, but hey, I'll take it if it means more.
Yeah. There you go. Punisher just said there. He said there's more content they're just holding for future dates, so it's definitely going to be more.
Yeah, they probably just have to wait for, you know, they don't want to steal hype from Hardline, obviously.
We meet again. 240p wants to know if you think Battlefield games are being released too frequently.
Do I think they're being released too frequently? Well, I think Battlefield 4 definitely came out too soon. I think that needed at least another 6 months of development time before it was released. But you know, obviously, I think they wanted the game to come out with the next gen consoles because it was a launch game for the Xbox One and the PS4. And as far as I can remember, I don't think they've ever had a Battlefield game launch with a new console. So that was probably a big thing for them, which sort of like put pressure on them to release it. Also, of course, it was going up against COD Ghosts, which wasn't very popular. So they were probably like, yeah, we're going to beat COD or whatever. But again, I'm just speculating here. But you know, BF4 obviously wasn't ready for launch. But I don't think DICE actually knew how bad it was when it launched, and it took the community to sort of play the game and expose all the problems with it. But are they being released too frequently? I don't know. I mean, if it was DICE Stockholm doing Hardline and it was out a year after BF4, then maybe. But I think the fact that it's Visceral and
3 separate teams, pretty much.
Yeah, they've got 3 dedicated teams now, and it's just the way the gaming industry is now, I suppose. Especially when like their rival is COD and they've got 3 teams. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it. Because like I remember when like Battlefield 2 came out and it was like, holy shit, this is like a massive upgrade on what we had with 942.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, it really felt like a new game, and it was like they spent a very long time working on this. And BF3, in terms of like the look of it, obviously it looked like a world ahead of Battlefield 2, and it was pitched as a true successor to Battlefield 2, but most people didn't like the direction that it went in. And of course, BF4 comes out 2 years later, I think. Yeah, 2 years later. So I can see why some people would say, yeah, they're being released too often, and they go with the whole, I don't want Battlefield to turn into COD. But I think if they've got 3 studios working on it, and they're being transparent and as open as they are being, I don't see it being a problem. But I can understand why people would think it.
I still hear people that talk about Hardline and DICE in the same breath. Like, I can't believe DICE is making Hardline. I'm like, they're not. Yeah, it's Battlefield. DICE is making, like, they're not. I promise you, they're not. Yes, DICE make, like, I don't, like, I'm fucking ignorant, you know? Like, DICE makes Battlefield, man. I know about this. I know you know what, you know, like, all right, let me show you this, you know? Like, who the hell's Visceral? I'm like, never mind. Just
there is an incredible amount of just ignorance on the internet, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, and people don't, you know, they don't really think about what they're typing. They just type it without doing any research. But you can either ignore it or confront it. But most of the time, if you confront it,
you regret it.
Yeah, you regret it, and they still think they're right. They still think they're right. So I just ignore those guys. Just let them be. You know, you can stay over there.
That is a losing battle. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be nice to get to a development cycle where we can get rid of the old consoles. You know, now that PlayStation and Xbox are moving towards more of a stable platform as they go on in years, we don't need to. Like, I'm sorry, I still got a PS3, but I don't need to buy games for each system. Let's focus on the future.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time. I think the last time I had my PS3 on was The Last of Us.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I bought GTA 5 for it, and then I bought it for PS4, and I'm probably gonna buy it on PC because I'm a sucker. So that's great.
Well, GTA 5 on PC is going to be monumental, I think.
Yeah,
That's gonna
I
be
hope
good.
so.
If it'd come out already,
Yeah.
I'm dying to get it. I had it on Xbox 360, and when they finally confirmed that it was coming to PC, and I was in the middle of building the PC and all that, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop playing it, and I did. I just stopped where I was at, and I was like, all right, it'll be out here soon. Delay. I mean, I'm okay with delays if it's to improve it, but damn it still gets your hopes up, and then another month or so down the road.
I think it'll be worth it.
Now I know, Chris, you have it on PS4,
Yep.
right? Now I know I've heard people really say like that whole first-person mode, which I'm thankful to hear is really like smooth. Like you can go from first person to back.
Yeah, it's all right. No, it's got its pros and cons. I personally think GTA's third person, and I've always liked that. So,
You don't ever play it in first person,
rarely.
right?
Yeah,
It's myself doing it all the time.
it's a little hard to get used to. Like, it's not your typical first-person shooter. So, yeah, it's weird.
Different. I just want Red Dead Redemption 2.
Don't even
Yeah.
Rockstar, please.
don't even talk about that. It makes me so sad.
And anyway, anyway, favorite gun from the beta, Jack?
Favorite gun from the beta.
Yeah.
Like probably the K10, the Vector.
Oh, that's
the
right.
Mechanic
You
SMG.
said that. Outside of the K10, what else? Second favorite.
I mean, I have to admit, I did use the M16A3 a lot because it was just so easy to use. But I like the AK, the 74, the AK-74.
Disappointed in you, man.
Yeah. No, I think I.
followed.
Oh man.
No, I saw a lot of people using the M16. I really think that's why Operator was so heavily used. People were just like, I've not had it since BF3. I got to use it.
Yeah, and I think as well because like in BF3 and BF4, the assault class is the most popular and the easiest to use, so people just presumed that that would be the same case with Hardline, when in fact you can actually dominate people with a lot of the other classes as well. But I'd say outside of that, the AK-74 was pretty cool, the criminal assault rifle. I just like the look of that gun. I just think it looks cool. It reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 2. That's why I like it.
It is cool though. Like after bringing up that question, it's nice to see like everyone replying with some other weapon. You know, like oh, I like the MP5, I like the M416, I like the AK, blah 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 blah. Instead of everyone going, "Yep, I was M16 only. Yep, me too. Yep, me too." Even though it's still being tuned to make it harder to use, it's really nice to know that people found favorites in different classes and different style of guns. Because I really don't want to see like 64-man match and 18 on that side have the same gun.
I mean, they should remove the M16A3 in my opinion because it's got such a weird like.
All right, Twitter just got DDoS for that. We just got fuck no.
I really think they should. I think it shouldn't be in the game because of Battlefield 3. It's just got this like infamous reputation of being the best gun, and
It does.
it's you don't need it. You've got the M416. That can be your balanced all-round assault rifle. Just get rid of it, Visceral. I don't want it in the game. It's got negative connotations.
Yeah. Now I didn't even use it. I don't think in the beta. Was it? It was fully auto in the beta, right?
Yeah.
About making it the burst one. Whatever. I don't even care about it. Everyone's gonna use it regardless. Whatever. I was glad to see though because especially in the beta, the M16 was so much easier to use than the AK, and so then they put the M416 on the criminal side. I was like, that works, but I'd really rather you just make it not so easy to use.
Yeah.
Instead of giving the other side an easy to use weapon, make it just harder. Because I like the AK has a really nice kick to it and feel. Yeah. So there's that. We do want skins though, Visceral. Skins will work. Sell us all the skins you want.
So, a guy in the chat had a question. He's like, "What do you guys think of having a skins marketplace in Hardline, as shown in kind of that Hadoukens video? Kind of a separate skins marketplace."
Yeah,
It's a little-
I think it's a great idea. User-generated content can go into the game. The creator gets a cut, EA get a cut. You can have some awesome looking skins in the game. And a great idea that Hadoukens had in that video was, if you get one of these skins in a battle pack, you don't just get the skin straight away. You actually get an assignment, and if you complete the assignment, you then get the skin. So that's giving people incentive to work hard, play, to get this skin and actually play the game rather than it just being given to you. Obviously, a marketplace, if you can trade the weapons, has some bad comes with it, like a black market, people just doing private sales on PayPal, people getting scammed. But what he actually says in the video is that he thinks that you should have these skins, but they shouldn't be tradable. Just user generated skins that are approved, put into the game. You can get them if you want. You can use in-game cash, or you can use real cash if you want to take a shortcut.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that we're talking about this because you mentioned microtransactions in any game and people get super defensive, which has always been interesting to me because, Lana and I were playing Company Heroes 2 yesterday, and I unlocked some skins that he really wanted, and I was thinking there was only a way we could just buy those, but you can't. But then when you add it, people are very, no, microtransactions, literally.
I don't see why it's such a big deal. Like, if it doesn't affect gameplay mechanics and people want to spend $10 on a skin, just let them. Why not? Like, the publisher makes money, the guy can have his skin, everyone's happy. What's the problem?
Yeah, I don't think if they were able to sell enough skins, they might be like, okay, we can make maps free because everyone's buying all these damn skins.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be totally okay with that trade. Having, like someone mentioned earlier, Battlefield 4 store or Battlefield Hardline store, there's 7,000 skins to pick from, and they're $1.99 a piece. Sell the wheels out of there, or whatever price. I'm just speaking theoretically, but sell that and then make all the maps free because you've made a fortune off cosmetics. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, user-generated cosmetics that they didn't make. Basically, the game just makes itself, and then they make money out of it.
Exactly. They take their cut. They take their 5%, whatever. And all of a sudden, we've got JackFrags gun that you can buy for $5.99.
That's it. This is something that, like, PlanetSide 2 did really well. Like, they had, like... not that PlanetSide 2 is a massively popular game. I don't actually think it's a very good game. I'm sure some people do, but they have like custom like weapon skins based on like streamers or like YouTubers, right? So you could have like like an X Factor holographic sight or something, or like a Lano B suppressor, right, with your logo on or something, or a DRMB defib, and that's cool. And if they had something like that in Hardline, where you can buy a JackFrags T-shirt, for example, that you can wear in game, the people can wear it in game, and be proud or whatever, support their favorite streamer, stuff like that.
I did ask Zach for a DRMB patch. I'm just saying. It's not gonna happen. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just saying I did ask, But people would do that. People would pay for that. I'll be honest, I'd pay $2 for a DRMB skin to have in my gaming character.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be legit.
And if it doesn't, as long as it doesn't affect game mechanics and it's completely cosmetic, then as far as I'm concerned, no one can really complain about it. As long as it's not too outlandish, like as long as it's not crazy, and it's going to start affecting your hitbox or something. That I'm fine with it if it's just cosmetic. It's like it baffles me about like H1Z1. I don't know if you guys have played that game, but they had the airdrops where you pay $5, you can buy a ticket for an airdrop, and originally you could get like an assault rifle, like 60 bullets, shotguns, armor, massive backpack in just one airdrop. And then they've changed it now, so it's only like a 10% chance of getting a weapon, and the rest of the stuff is just like building materials or survival stuff. You only got a 10% chance of getting a gun. But the problem with that is that no one's going to buy it now, because you've got a 10% chance of getting a gun, and airdrops are visible to everyone on the server, right? So if you're near an airdrop, you can see it from miles away. If you've got a gun, you can run up to it, kill the guy that paid for it, get his stuff, and get out of there. The guy's just lost $5. His character's dead. He doesn't have anything to show for it, and it's a broken marketplace. Like, why would anyone spend $5 for that? Instead, they should just go, right, spend $5. Here's a guaranteed fucking cool looking T-shirt or something. Like, that's the way of doing it. And I think Hardline should take a leaf out of that sort of mentality. Just cool cosmetics.
I do like how they're making it obvious, like with a more lighthearted themed Battlefield. Goes the flipping the bird for the spot. Some of the call outs, and Butterfingers dropped a package, shit like that I just didn't expect to see. So skins, yeah, people were wanting to rock out with dinosaur masks and pink zebra, whatever. I mean, wear it out.
Yeah, I was thinking you could have like custom call outs as well on your Comoros. Like, you could get like fuck you, buddy, or something like. So you hold Q and you're like, well, I paid $5 so I could say fuck you, buddy, to someone. Shit like that. It's funny. It would fit in the Hardline universe as well.
Yeah.
I'd probably pay for the fuck you spot.
Oh, you know you would for sure. Yep, do it right now.
How much? $5, PayPal, done. And then just I spot all the things anyway. So. Good times.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I mean, if we get a DRMB shirt, like I want it to have like +5 to revive to just be, like we got to add stats to that.
I did try to put the DRMB logo on, like, spray paint the emblem on a car in Hotwire, and that shit just didn't work. I was sad. I really wanted to just spray paint DRMB on the hood and drive around and run into people, but it just didn't work. But one of my favorite things, because the kill cam, as much as we hate the kill cam, was killing somebody and then going back. Some people do the tea bag. Billy does his river dance, whatever. I like to go back and just spray paint my emblem on their corpse. I don't know if I was the only one, but I did do that a few times, and I got a few hate messages over it. But it's really cool because back in their camera, all they see is you literally spray paint their body.
Yeah,
I was happy with that. That was really good. But other than that,
they said the first event that we went to that you could spray tag vehicles, but I tried to do it in the beta and it wasn't happening for me. I don't know if I was doing it wrong or they removed that feature, but being able to put your tag on vehicles would be pretty neat. You can do it on riot shields.
Yeah, I saw it work on the shields, but you already have an emblem on there anyway. I thought you'd still do it on a car, even if it just limited it to one. Because otherwise, like Chab Wanazi, they just have a graffitied car or something. But they'd be able to spray paint the car before the mission ever started. But yeah, like Jack said, I think they could sell the shit out of skins. And really, who does that hurt? If it's just cosmetic, who does it hurt? Sell all that you want, smiley faces, whatever. Sell whatever you want.
Yeah, you get troll face would make millions.
It'd be really cool though if you could just kind of make our own, like outside the emblem. Like,
There'd be so many penises.
So many.
But yeah, sadly, God, and why? God,
because it's funny.
Yeah,
but for how long? I mean, how many matches in a row? Is it funny when that's what you see?
I think we're more mature Battlefield gamers. Most of the audience is probably like sub 15 years old.
I mean, the game is set for 18 and above, and I know people under that age play it. But at the same time, do we really need to put penises everywhere? No.
Do we need more cocks? That should be the title of your next podcast.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
1 hour discussion on
visceral, please. No more penis emblems, guys. It'd be actually funny if they actually just made one, just already pre-made. Like, here's your emblem. Like, we know you're gonna make it anyway, so pre-made ones. Use this. Just to go on. Whatever. Anyway, I'm just rambling.
Maybe it's a battle pack unlock. It's a rare battle pack unlock. It's the little penis emblem.
DLB podcast. Yeah. Anyway.
Right on, Jack. Thank you very much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. This was super fun. We'll have to do it
No,
again.
it's been wicked, dude. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for having me on.
No problem.
But
Thanks.
to another.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for catching it. We are back next week with a special unannounced guest as of yet. So we'll keep you guys in tune for that, and make sure to stick around for a bunch of streams. We've got people streaming almost every day. So
Shogun, Kingston, Bo, all of them.
Yeah.
Somebody streaming something. Check it out.
Right on. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks again, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks,
Yep.
man, for running it.
See you guys.